Hi guys, TV Tim Sweden, America style with you once again to just talk a little bit about America and what's going on over there. I'm in Sweden right now. I just released my 32nd episode of TV Tim Sweden yesterday. And as I promised, I'm going to do a couple of shows here and there in English as good as I can. I'm close to 1,000 subscribers, so please subscribe, push that bell so you don't miss an episode, since I don't have any exact dates when I'm releasing my small episodes here. Today's Sunday, the 25th of July, 2021, and some interesting things have happened in the States. So I just wanted to brief you, whether you are my Swedish viewers or American viewers. I'm going to send this directly to you, Mr. Barry Guilfoyle in Charlotte, North Carolina, so you can start subscribe and also share it to Trump friends and others around America that you have a possibility to share this with, so to say. And to Gunnar and Göran, the same with you. Share it to your American and Swedish Trump friends, so I can get some more US subscribers too and get this thing going a little bit. So this is episode 2 of my, so to say, American English version of TV Tim Sweden. And the reason I'm doing it, because of course, as I've said, I've lived in the States a lot, back and forth. I have an interest in American politics. I've been a part of Swedish radio and TV regarding Trump during his election 2016 and also 2020. And I think what's going on in the States also affects us here in Europe and Sweden, especially Sweden, since we are so-called American number 2 in the world. Everything that America tries to do well, we are copying. And unfortunately, now we're also copying what you're doing wrong. That is the crazy Democrats, but that's nothing new. So I wanted to start by saying thank you to everybody who is subscribing, sharing, and commenting about my thoughts and ideas here. And I just want to let you guys know again that some people are texting me and emailing me about, keep your episodes shorter, please. And then others, oh, Tim, why do you stop? We want you to talk for at least an hour or two. So I don't really know what to do there. My only suggestion is, if you're a Swedish viewer and you don't like to watch these English episodes about mostly America, don't watch them, because I clearly specify the name of the show and the episode in Swedish and English. So next time will be TV Tim Sweden episode 33, and next time will be TV Tim Sweden America episode 3. So it's going to be pretty easy to follow if you want. It's all up to you. So anybody who is not familiar with Mark Levin has his own show on Fox News. And Sean Hannity calls him I don't think it's the special one. That's Mourinho, the soccer coach. But I think it's something close to the special one. Or if it is the special one. For me, he's a fantastic guy. He has written many books. And he's a sane, conservative voice out there in the wilderness of crazy, crazy Dems. What's going on in America today is really, really sad for me as a Swedish person who came to America in the mid-80s and who always loved my New York, whether it was Manhattan or Brooklyn or Queens. I was there a lot, and I used to live in New Jersey, in Summit, New Providence, that area down there. So, and I was a lot in Florida when I was younger, mostly than Miami Beach, down to Key West, of course. Lately, I've been more up in West Palm Beach and Delray and Fort Lauderdale area, but still, it's not the same. The pandemic has done its share to destroy the country and the world, but also politicians in America. It's over my head. It's over my understanding how you can be as stupid as the mayor is in New York. De Blasio and the governor Cuomo. It's on top of my understanding how people on CNN like the fruitcake Lemon and the idiot brother Cuomo there and Jake Tapper and everybody, how can they sleep at night? How can they live with themselves saying all these lies about Trump for 5 years now, and continuing to support policies that are destroying America. So I'm coming back here a little bit to Mark Levin. Please read his book, American Marxism. It just came out. It's directly a #1 bestseller on New York Times bestseller list. I think it sold over 500,000 copies in the first 9 days. And it's actually on Storytel for you guys and girls here in Sweden. If you want to listen to it, it's on Storytel, probably on BookBeat and the others too. But the thing is, he's reading the first chapter himself, and then there is another guy, I think, reading the rest. It's a fantastic book explaining American Marxism, explaining what's going on now with the organizations that I here have to call AFITMA, and then you know who I mean. And the 3-letter organization, I call them the beef-loving morons. With beef, I mean humans, because they're crazy. And even the Swedish soccer team now in the Olympics kneeled together with the American girls there, women, during that soccer game in the Olympics that Sweden won 3-0. But I'm boycotting Sweden. Sweden's women football, I'm boycotting that now. Soccer, Swedish women's soccer. I totally boycott this because they have no sense of what they're doing. They think that they are kneeling to support no room for racism, which is a slogan that I can stand for. I'm not sure if that is a beef-loving moron organization slogan, but no room for racism is sort of logical. But I don't see any of my friends can explain to me if there is, which I don't think there is, systemic racism, neither in Sweden or in America, not in the sense that they're talking about anyway. So for me, it's just crazy that you can have the school unions in America supporting colleges and universities, teachers, teaching kids that skin color is important, that white kids should apologize to black kids for the history of America regarding slavery, and they're talking about reparations and all that stuff. I think it's just sick, and something needs to happen, you know, in order to change this. This guy GS, you know who I'm talking about, the guy with the sword, you know, the movies Zorro. Yeah, anyway, his first name is George, you know who I'm talking about, is funding a lot of the AFITMA and the beef-loving morons organizations. So the violence on the streets are being supported by people who like that. They support it. They support bringing down society. They support defunding the police. They support violence in the streets, and that people can burn and loot and just take what they want, you know. How sick is that? I mean, did you see now TJ Maxx, that store, and other stores? People are just walking in. And I'm sad to say, mostly black people, they're just walking into the stores. They don't even run. They take whatever they want, the TV or expensive clothes or gold watches, and the guards just stand there and look. They don't do anything. Nobody's calling the police. If a police car is coming up outside, they just sit there and look. Nobody dares to do anything, because what police would like to sacrifice their life, like this guy with George Floyd? He got 22 years in a penitentiary. Good luck with that when you have a lot of people in that he put there for life and so on. That's sick. I mean, I feel sorry for that cop. He made a big mistake, but he should have just left that criminal guy, Floyd, in the car, handcuffed. He was screaming and crying, "Oh, please take me out. I'm whatever it's called there, phobic something, that he couldn't sit in a car handcuffed, and he couldn't breathe already there, actually." So they took him out, took his cuffs off, and as it turns out, he kneeled on him too long and he died. That's too bad. It shouldn't happen to any human being. But the thing is, this guy was a super criminal, and that doesn't excuse the officer's wrongdoing. But why put up a big mural on a brick wall in Minneapolis and make him out as some kind of martyr for America? That's not right, that a person like that gets that status. It's pretty saying that the lightning struck in Minneapolis a couple of weeks ago, and it struck just on that George Floyd wall. So all of those bricks just came down to, you know, like an earthquake. It was just gravel all over the street there. So I wonder what kind of sign that was. Anyway, so what's going to happen with America when the teachers unions are telling these teachers to teach the kids to basically become racist, because that's what it is. If you tell a child that your skin color is affecting you this and this, you little 5-year-old Mike, you're white, so you're privileged. And you little black boy Tom, this white guy here should apologize to you and then kneel to you and all that shit. I mean, this is going to be so effed up, so you can't even believe it. So these people that are running these Democrat states and cities, let's just take, what's her name, Lori Lightfoot in Chicago, for instance, and people in Detroit and Portland and Oregon. What's the incentive for people to get a job and obey by law and order when they can just go into any store, take what they want? There is no repercussion, nothing happens, you don't get jail. If you get to jail, Soros and these guys are paying your bonds so you can get out, and your bail bonds, whatever it's called. So anyway, there's nothing to be afraid of today. There is no police. There are no regulations that really affect you if you do something criminal. I think it was in Detroit now, I'm not sure, you can help me with that, but there was this judge and district attorney, or if it was a regular attorney that didn't come to his or her job, and this murderer was just set free. Even though they knew he shot this person and killed this person. Actually, if you remember this story about this guy in Kansas, that's where I think it was. This man and his wife, they protected themselves with their guns when the beef-loving morons were trying to take over his house, kill him and just move in there. And they were actually looking for some other attorney or some other judge or whatever who lived in that protected area. But they just broke the fence and went in there. They protected themselves with their gun and said, leave, leave, leave. You can't be on my property. You can't come into my house. We will shoot you. So after a while, hundreds of people, they got scared. They didn't want to get shot, so they moved on. But this guy who protected his house, he's an attorney, and they got prosecuted for using their weapons, protecting themselves. They never did. They didn't shoot a single shot. And they were following the Second Amendment to protect themselves. Still, they got prosecuted and got fined, and they can no longer carry their guns. So it's just insane what happens in America today. That judge, that guy, told his story on Fox News yesterday, that his client was sitting in his car when this black guy comes up with a gun and shoots him in the head. That's all on film. They even showed pictures of the guy, the murderer, on TV yesterday. Still, they set him free because the prosecutor, didn't come to work and something happened, so blah, blah, blah. And I hear now they can't prosecute him again. So many things in America are going so wrong, and it's coming to Sweden. That's why I think that it's important that you, my Swedish viewers, if you watch this show is going to be a little different from my Swedish show, because I'm going to focus on the American things that I'm interested in, but actually it affects Sweden too. Just look here in Sweden on the streets today, gang violence, shootings every day, rapes every day, bombs every day. I mean, it's like a small Beirut. It's called Little Chicago now. And I mean, it's getting worse and worse, and the numbers aren't as in Chicago, but we're only 10 million people. We're only 380 or almost 400,000 people here in Malmö, where I live. But it's terrible to see the news and what I see on the streets when I'm taking my bike, riding around, just filming, taking pictures, watching things, what's going on. It's just terrible. For instance, you, Barry, or any of my other American friends, Gunnar and Jörn, when you were here last, years ago, you would not recognize it today. It's the Islamic proportions growing in this country is out of control. It's just as out of control as the border crisis in America. People are flooding Sweden from Middle East countries. They demand. Many of them, a majority of them from Somalia, Iraq, and Syria, do not learn the Swedish language. They only live on welfare because they can't get a job. And 7,000 Afghan boys that we took care of, they were not Afghan children. They were 25 to 35 years old. They came without any women or any children. And now they refuse to go home, even though they have been, so to say, sent back to Afghanistan. I forget the word when you send out criminals from your country to where they came from. Deport. We have deported them, but they're not going because the Afghan ambassador in Sweden say that we can't do it. We can't send them to Afghanistan to risk that they infect Afghanistan people there with COVID-19. And then there is a stupid law here in Sweden saying that you can't force anybody to take a PCR test. So we can't test them. So now these 7,000 men, mostly criminals and rapists, are refusing to take a PCR test, so we can't deport them. Thank you very much. That's a sort of catch and release. They're out in the society again. We don't know who is the good Afghan, who is the bad Afghan, who is the rapist Afghan. Put a D and a C minor to that, and it becomes a great song. Anyway, so the border crisis is totally out of control in America. Lindsey Graham, I must say, I didn't like that guy during the 2016 election. He's to the South Carolina senator, I think he's from, right? He's not from North Carolina. No, he's South Carolina. Lindsey Graham, he's kicking ass. He's really working hard and tough and explaining what they got to do, why Biden and the Uganda nightmare, the camel, Harris, boo, 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 cackling Harris. She hasn't done shit. She's been appointed responsible for the border crisis now for 6 months, and she hasn't done anything. She went to El Paso for 2 hours, 700-800 miles from where the problems are, and it's just ridiculous. So thanks to Lindsey Graham, who's doing something in the Senate, trying to make them close the border, finish the construction of the wall. I hope that this guy, Abbott in Texas, really does what he promised Trump now to finish the wall in his area there. Okay, then we have other continuing problems. I'm not going to be too long here today. It's Sunday, even here, early in America, but it's around lunchtime here now, I guess. 11:35, all right, a.m. So I'm doing things today. That's why I wanted to record this episode now and then get going with my day-to-day life. Anyway, so what do you think about this? Yesterday, Charlie Kirk was hosting the Turning Point Action in Arizona, and that was a fantastic show. It's on Right Side. If you don't have it, you can go in on App Store or any other similar thing where you get your apps and download the Right Side app. They show everything live and everything is taped, of course. You can watch it after. And it's also on Rumble, I think. And actually, they showed the whole thing on YouTube yesterday, but I don't know how long it's going to lie there, because it was a fantastic speech by Trump. But Charlie Kirk is a fantastic young man who is running this conservative Republican powerhouse. And I think he will be president one day. I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie Kirk is president 2028 or at the latest 2032. He's a fantastic guy. So if you didn't see it, go into Right Side and check the rally there yesterday. Trump's speech was absolutely amazing. He was strong, he was powerful, he was in great shape, and he was really, really focusing on, as the rally was called, the rally to protect our elections. Big things are coming out of the recount in Arizona. They double-check everything that had to do with that election, and they also confirmed yesterday that they are having good results coming in for Georgia and Pennsylvania and elsewhere. So It's really interesting to hear Trump and also Charlie and the other guys, politicians, Kelly, her name is, and some other people that were there. When they talk, they really, really talk like the guy behind me could be back in the Yellow House. It's so dirty now, so I'll call the Yellow House because of the scumbag that lives in there. It's so interesting to hear them say that he might move in there before 2024. I wonder what that means. Well, the thing is that you go into frankspeech.com, you can watch the movie 9.0. It's a fantastic documentary updated about the election, FRAUD. So yeah, that's probably what it was. And many, many proofs came out yesterday. If you watch this Turning Point USA, Turning Point Action, as it was called yesterday, Rally to Protect Our Elections. And that's what it's about. You have to have fair elections. You have to know that not too many dead people voted, and not too many illegals, and so on and so on. That's ridiculous. How can anybody be against that you show a picture ID when you vote? I mean, that's ridiculous. You need an ID when you rent a car, driver's license you need at that point, but that's an ID as well, right? You need it in a liquor store if you look close to 21. You need it in any big building when you walk in today, even a big library in New York, all over the place, you need to show an ID. And the Uganda nightmare, the camel babbling, squeaking, leaking, laughing Harris, she says that Black people have a hard time to get an ID because they live out in the wilderness, so they can't go and make a copy at Kinko's. Hello, Kamala. There haven't been a Kinko's in America for 13 years. I don't know if it was Walgreens, but some big company bought them up. So why is she talking about, she's a Black vice president, she says, and she's talking about Black people can't go to Kinko's and make a copy. Make a copy of what? You don't have to make a copy if you already have an ID. If you're going to fix it to send in a ballot, well, you can go any place to vote. It's a long time. You can plan it now to November 2024. I'm pretty sure you can get a bus ticket to the closest election house or building or whatever it's called. Yeah, so anyway, they talked about law and order, borders, energy, military, economy, etc. Everything that Trump fixed for 4 years. I mean, how can these people, Swalwell, Jerry Nadler, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, Chucky Schumer, how can they live with themselves knowing that San Francisco, LA, all of California, basically, Oregon, Minnesota, Baltimore, all of these places are falling apart. Criminals, violence, gun violence, drugs, rapes, trafficking, you name it. And these burners and looters and as we said before, you know, the Fitman, the beef-loving morons, all of these people. I mean, it's going down, people. It's going down. America is falling quick. And I saw Justice Janine today. She was almost crying. Dan Bongino, who used to be a powerhouse, he's looking sad and shocked. And you have my favorite, Jericho Green. You have Officer Tatum. You have all of these Black conservative voices on YouTube. And they look depressed. But now it's not time to be depressed. It's time to rise up and follow that guy behind me there, because he's soon to be 75, I think, and he's stronger than ever. And where would America, seriously, where would America be today without DJT? I don't see any person with his, Ron DeSantis is a good governor, if that's what he is in Florida. I forget all these names. If you're a senator or governor or whatever, prosecutor, police officer, you know, I'm from Sweden, so I can't really get this straight, but you know what I mean. He's good, Ron DeSantis. You have other good people. You have what's his name, Devon Nunes, and you have the other guy. You have a mayor down there in Miami that's really good. All of these people are strong and good, and they work towards sanity, conservatism, building up the Republican Party and clean out the rhinos like Mitt Romney and some other stupid asses in that party. But without the guy behind me there, where would you be? the country would be completely lost. I'm surprised that he hasn't been SHOT'd, because he's so strong. And if they win, take the House and the Senate back in 2022, then he's going to be P again in 2024. I kid you not. I kid you not. That's what's going to happen. You know, you have to refund the police, I say. I think I came up with that word today myself, actually. Not defund. You have to refund the police and start Giuliani's policies back in action all over America. That's what's going to happen. Until America closes its borders, deports all criminals that has nothing to do in the country, illegal aliens, that is, make sure that the police get the respect back as an authority, and that people should have a, what's it called in English? When I say that you should fear the police, I don't mean that you should be scared of them. If you're not a criminal, you shouldn't be scared. You should have respect for the police. Good morning, officer. Good evening, officer. Is it okay that I park here, officer? You know, like that. And if you're a criminal, you should be afraid and run away. And as a police officer, you shouldn't be afraid of running after him. If they don't stop, shoot them. Okay, shoot them in the leg if you can. But if it's an accident and somebody gets killed, well, why did you run away? You had a gun, and so on. If the police can't work, America will not work. And I can tell you that most of my black friends, if not all of them, and I know a lot in Miami, in New York, I know I have a lot of so-called black friends and Latino friends. They're not scared of the police. They're not afraid to be out. All of these YouTube channels, all of these people I mention all the time, Jericho Green and the others, they're not afraid of the police. You should only be afraid of the police if you're a criminal. And the police should not be afraid to do their job, because then shit will hit the fan worse and worse and worse. As it is now, criminals in America are not afraid of the police. Not in Sweden either. In Sweden, we have a new problem now on a highway called E65 from Ystad to Malmö. Criminals are throwing rocks and stones from bridges down on cars. That's a super offense here. You can get a long prison sentence here for doing that, because you could actually kill somebody, and then it's murder 2, I think. But anyway, it should be murder 1, because you're deliberately throwing big rocks and stones on cars that are driving 55 and up. Faster than that. In Sweden, we can drive 65 and up. So, I mean, I'm just saying. And that's crazy. And criminal gangs here in Sweden, it's on TV here everywhere. These people, these young kids, they are like between 16 and 22. You know what they say to the police in Sweden? Especially to the women police. They laugh at them and they say, hey, bitches, what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that baton, bitch? You want me to F you in the pussy, little police, bitch? That's what they're saying in Sweden to female police here. And the man police, the man next to them, they're just standing there telling these 22-year-old guys from Iraq and Syria and Palestine, oh, we didn't mean any harm. We just wanted to check out the neighborhood and see that you're not doing anything wrong. Sorry. Get the fuck out of here. Take that baton, smash the guy in this fucking face, bring them to a bus with nails on the floor, no seats, no air conditioning, no water, no nothing, and drive them back to where they came from. A one-way ticket to hell, and you will never come back. Why don't we do that? I don't understand. The government here in Sweden is just as lame as the Biden regime, and it's a regime. And here we have communist, socialist idiots. We just lost the government a few weeks ago. They're right back where they was, sitting there running things, but nothing is happening. Oh, this guy's on vacation. This guy's in Italy and Spain. We can't get anything done. Where are the police? Well, they can't do anything, because then they will be arrested. So little America here, Sweden, we're going the same path as you are. And it's fucking terrible, and I hate it, and I'm looking for another place to live, but I don't know where. It's still nice in Sweden. It's even good in Malmö. If you look at the good things, if you're positive, the soccer here is great. We are in the lead in our league. We are climbing through the qualifications to Champions League. The weather has been great. A really good Greta Thunberg summer here in Sweden. with a very, very big climate change because we have had 96 degrees in the shade. 10,000 policemen can't operate. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Everything is great. Everything should be great, but it's not. But we can hope and dream. And if with the help of this guy back there and with the help of Jimmy, our Swedish Don, well, he's weak as hell compared to him. Maybe we can change shit for 2022 and on. What do you say? So, okay, don't forget to subscribe, share, press the stupid bell there so that you get notifications when I do new episodes. Please comment about what you want to talk about or hear, or if you have any questions or whatever. And that's it. And mostly to my friends in America, please share this to everybody you know in America, because I want to be the Swedish voice out to America and the American voice out to Americans in Sweden and to Swedish people in Sweden who likes America. My Swedish show, I call a segment of it the window to Malmö and the window to Sweden. And that's because I see Sweden, I see Malmö every day, so I can comment about day-to-day life. And that's what I could call in Sweden, facts found in reality. Fakta funna i verkligheten. Not CNN, babble, drivel, and lies. That's for them to deal with. Okay, guys and girls, take it easy. Have a wonderful Sunday. I know I will. Ciao.